What's up, summoners, and nice to see you for another ProGuides Wild Rift video. And for today we have the patch rundown of 2.5a on our menu, so let's just get straight to it. And it's the spookiest season and we've brought backup. Caitlyn and Jayce are headed to Wild Rift to add some firepower from downtown, and you can give them a helping hand in the Hextech Heist event in a few days time. We're also taking a look at the 2.5's most reliable champion picks and putting them back in line. We've also got some changes coming to the Last Whisper family of items and buffing some of the key magic resist mainstays. This patch also marks the last major balance patch before the Horizon Cup, Wild Rift's first international tournament. As such, we'll be keeping the game stable for the next few weeks in order to give our first crop of pros times to practice and prepare for the matches ahead. Don't sweat it, guys, our future will be bright, and welcome to patch 2.5a. So let's quickly talk about the new champions that are incoming. First we have Caitlyn, the Sheriff of Piltover. Renowned as its finest peacekeeper, Caitlyn is also Piltover's best shot at ridding the city of its elusive criminal elements. She's often paired with Vi, acting as a cool counterpoint to her partner's more impetuous nature. Even though she carries a one-of-a-kind Hextech rifle, Caitlyn's most powerful weapon is a superior intellect, allowing her to lay elaborate traps for any lawbreakers foolish enough to operate in the City of Progress. And Caitlyn will be released on the 9th of November. And hand in hand to Wonderland, Caitlyn is going with Jayce. Jayce, the Defender of Tomorrow. Jayce is a brilliant inventor who has pledged his life to the defense of Piltover and its unyielding pursuit of progress. With his transforming Hextech hammer in hand, Jayce uses his strength, courage and considerable intelligence to protect his hometown. While revered throughout the city as a hero, he hasn't taken well to the attention heroism brings. Still, Jayce's heart is in the right place, and even those who envy his natural skills are grateful for his protection in this City of Progress. Similar to Caitlyn, you'll see this guy released on the 9th of November. And for all those who are enjoying skins a bit too much, we're also seeing 5 brand new skins. On the 28th of October, we'll be seeing Bewitching Jana, Underworld Twisted Fate and Underworld Wukong. On the 9th of November, we are going to see Jayce Brighthammer and Headhunter Caitlyn. And as per usual, we'll also see some new accessoires. So take a look at them and see what you like and get it fast. And what would be a new patch without a new event? And this time we have 2 events. The very first event is marked with a question mark. We don't really know what it's going to be, but it's going to happen on the 7th of November. Afterwards, on the 9th of November, we'll have the Hextech Heist. Jayce's pocket watch has been stolen. Help Caitlyn track down the culprit and solve the case. That's all the information we have on the event, so be prepared. And now with all the event and skins out of the way, it's time for our question of the day. How did you like the Dragon Monster event? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're at it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel before we go over to the champion changes. And here we have a specific note from Riot Games. Due to the impending Horizon Cup, this will be Wild Rift's last major balance patch for a few weeks to keep the game stable for our first international tournament. New content is still on the way, but expect balance changes throughout November to be emergencies only. So in case you see something broken, report it and we might see something changed, like a hotfix. But let's start with the champions. First on our list is Akshan. As players have gained mastery over Akshan, he has been revealed a stronger pick than he appeared in previous patches. We like keeping the bulk of Akshan's power in medium range combat, so we are siphoning a small amount of power out of his ultimate to make it a little harder for him to pick enemies off after a fight for easier revives. As a consequence, we see some changes to his ultimate, and here we have the maximum AD ratio going down from 12.5% to 10%, and the maximum bonus AD ratio going down from 50 to 40% based on missing health. So in all honesty, Akshan has been broken for quite some while in the middle lane, but only for players who are really good at the champion. With the recent changes to make it easier for him to just swing around with the robe, it feels natural that there are more balance changes in need. So don't be surprised to see a few more changes to this champion after the Horizon Cup ends, or maybe even during the Horizon Cup. Because this champion surely isn't balanced in the way he is, and trust me, once he gets into your face, he's going to kill you. Even Lucian, who is primarily known for his strong 1v1 potential, gets utterly crushed during the laning phase from this champion on the middle lane. And next up comes a champion who has been known as the X-Factor for the weak side on the Baron lane. We have Darius. Darius is a champion that can be used on the weak side and strong side alike and can really change the fight by just getting 5 stacks into permanently ulting anything in his way. So since Darius is one of the most dominant picks in the elite level play for some time, and to promote champion diversity in the Baron lane, we're reducing his ability to heal away damage during trades and skirmishes. As a consequence, his first ability's healing goes down from 15 to 45% based on enemy champion's hit to 12 to 36% based on enemy champion's hit. Obviously, this is not going to destroy the champion, but it really targets the healing capabilities this champion has, because it's quite annoying seeing this champion quite literally healing for half his HP after hitting 3 of your allies. And next up we have Galio. While Galio's support presence was recently nerfed, we are seeing him get stronger in the mid due to the input buffering changes. How his abilities interact with Flash and Protobelt enchant basically. This time we are further chipping away at his ultimate to address his omnipresence and dominance in pro play. As all of you know, this champion has been super often picked and banned in any pro play on any level in any region because it's just too annoying to deal with. As a consequence, we are seeing him lose 10 seconds on the rank 1 ultimate, 15 seconds on the rank 2 ultimate, and 20 seconds on the rank 3 ultimate. That's a hefty nerf, which is really going to hurt the Galio, but will not be the reason why this champion won't be picked anymore. He's still going to be this annoying factor in a game that really CCs you and gets you killed. And the ultimate, it's just the tip of the iceberg. And now comes the next champion, Graves. Graves has spiked in both power and popularity over the last few patches as the metagame has become extremely favorable for him. We are taking away some of the defenses he gets for free in order to limit how easy it is for Graves to farm up a few items and carry without the fear of dying. As a result, Graves' base stats are hit. His base health goes down from 610 to 570, his armor per level goes down from 4.3 to 3.9, and the base mana regen goes down from 15 to 12. Obviously this is not going to destroy the champion, but it's still a hefty nerf if you think about how the champion functions. Losing 40 HP is by far the worst for him here because who cares about the armor value, he's getting enough anyway. The mana regen just adds insult to injury and is not going to change too much. If anything, you might see this nerf impact lane Graves the most because maybe, just maybe, some other picks will be able to get him killed now. But in all honesty, Graves isn't a champion you would willingly blind pick. You would pick this champion into very specific comps with very specific champions. Blind picking this champion is borderline suicidal and throwing away your game for free. And now we come to a champion which is always, or was always, pickable before in the AD carry position. And here we have Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa has been a dominant pick in highly skilled play as well as coordinated play. We are cutting down on her trading power, burst and wave clear by lowering the base damage of her Cathian Rain ability, but leaving her scaling intact so she can still perform her role later in the game. As a consequence, a Cathian Rain's base damage per missile goes down from 50 to 40 on rank 1, so consequently it loses 10 per level. And to be quite frank here, this is something that should have happened earlier. Kai'Sa's first ability is an ability that allows her to win basically any 1v1 because it's so overtuned if you just rush the components for the evolve of the first ability. It feels kind of out of place that an AD carry gets so much damage from just one ability alone and scales on top of that quite nicely. But here I don't really know if that's going to be enough because I don't know if that damage will be enough to cut away her wave clear capabilities in a sense that she's still able to one-shot a wave. And from this we move on to Lucian. Lucian is still underperforming on the Dragon lane despite recent buffs, so we are increasing the damage to culling to bring him in line with other marksmen. If you remember, Lucian isn't necessarily meant to be a late game champion. However, in Wild Rift it's a bit different. In this game he is very strong in the very early stages and the moment he gets access to 3 items, namely Infinity Edge, Charge Blade and Navori Quick Blades. This item constellation allows him to spam spells and just dash around for fun and getting anyone in his way killed. After that, an armor pen item is enough to seal the deal. So in this patch we see a buff to the culling, increasing the bullet damage from 15 to 20, so 5 per rank. Which is unironically quite the weird change, because Lucian's culling ability was one of the strongest abilities anyway. Nearly no champion, apart obviously from full tanks and Braum Shield, can survive tanking this ability, so buffing this ability? I don't really know, it doesn't seem to be the very good idea. And from this we move on to the support Nami. Nami has been at the top of the support food chain for quite a while and we are looking to bring her down just a touch to let other supports shine. This small nerf to the tidal wave will make it a bit more punishing to fish for picks and should Nami open up a bit more vulnerable to all-ins, which should be a primary weakness as a healing support enchanter. So the cooldown from a wave is upped by 10 seconds. And here again, this change is not going to do too much because she's still going to win any enchanter matchup in lane and she'll still be able to use a wave. Just 10 seconds are not a deal breaker for this champion. If anything, what I feel this is going to be is just nerfing Nami for the sake of nerfing her so people are less likely to pick her, so the numbers look more likely to be correct. Because who wants to play a nerfed champion, right? He got nerfed, so why play? And next up we have Tryndamere. Since the release of his rework, Tryndamere has been overperforming in the jungle. We are pulling back on the bonus attack speed gained from his passive to reduce the power of his early ganks and tone down his late game power spike. So we are seeing here that the Battle Fury's attack speed bonus from attacking champions goes down from 50 to 45 and on the highest rank from 75 to 60. But unironically, I find it quite funny, because if they nerf the champion's early game attack speed on champions, it doesn't really change anything about the jungle clear. And why is the Tryndamere allowed to clear jungle so easily in the early stages of the game? Why is he allowed to contest scuttle crabs in the way he is and who can't face him? Why is he freely allowed to scale? Those are all questions I don't have the answers to, but maybe you do have. So maybe you can explain this nerf to me, because I don't understand why this specific part is getting nerfed for the sake of nerfing his jungle position, when in fact it looks more like a lane nerf. And from that we are moving over to the gameplay changes. For items, we have the Black Cleaver. Black Cleaver has been underperforming in comparison to other options like Trinity Force and Death Stance in every slot for most fighters. We don't want to swing too far in the opposite direction, so we are cautiously giving it a light buff to help it compete. The attack damage therefore goes up from 35 to 40. Well, right games, one of the issues why Black Cleaver is underperforming is the build path of the item. You have a Phage and a Kindle Gem. Those two items feature health and a little bit of attack damage, namely 15 on the Phage, but nothing else, so if you're facing other champions with more combat stats, you're just bound to lose unless your champion is stronger with HP standalone. And in most instances, only low economy players, or rather only low economy champions that are functional on one item go Black Cleaver unless their name is Riven, then they just build this item anyway and kill you 100-0 hitting level 5. With just a Kindle Gem, by the way. And in addition to that, Death Stance is just a broken item for all of the champions that are building it. It is just way too good to not build it. And the next item on the list is Last Whisper. Last Whisper and its upgrades offer extremely powerful anti-armor itemization for physical damage carries. While this is their intended output, they are currently so effective at their purpose that tank defenses are being invalidated by penetration even relatively early in the game. We are reducing the efficiency of these items, particularly Mortal Reminder, and adding per level scaling to the armor penetration to ensure that tanks have a sufficient window of time to use the defenses before carries scale into a late place to cut them down. Consequently, the armor penetration of Last Whisper goes down from 15 to 10%. For Mortal Reminder, it goes down from 30% at all levels to 16 to 30% based on the champion level. On top of that, the attack damage goes down from 45 to 40 and the combined cost goes up by 150 gold, increasing the total cost of the item to 3100 gold. And yeah, obviously Last Whisper items are broken in this game. The reason is, champions gain base armor so unbelievably fast due to the level scaling in the game. You'll see a lot of champions gain between 3 and 5 armor or maybe even more, and therefore this item is just good as it is, whereas lethality items feel really out of place. And obviously the same nerf goes also for Cyril the Scrutch, so the armor penetration goes down from 30% at all levels to 16 to 30% and the combined cost goes up to 3100 gold as well. So guys, I'm sorry, we probably won't see any more second item armor penetration on most champions. Kinda sad, but well, Riot doesn't like us to win. And from that we move on to tanky items. Force of Nature. Magic resistant choices for tanks are not quite sufficient when tanks are dealing with significant magic damage threats. We are buffing up the magic resistance on Spirit Visage and Force of Nature slightly to make them more powerful when dealing with magic damage, particularly into enemy compositions with multiple threats. Therefore, magic resist goes up from 45 to 50. The same thing happens to Spirit Visage. And now we move on to the free-to-play champion rotation. From the 28th of October to the 3rd of November, we have Amumu, Brand, Jax, Misfortune, Rakan, Soraka, Tryndamere, Varus, Veigar and Xin Zhao. From the 4th of November to the 10th of November, we have Akali, Corki, Evelynn, Fizz, Leona, Malphite, Lulu, Rammus, Teemo and Varus. And that's it for today, and luckily not as long as it was last time. Thank you all for watching, hit the like and sub button, and see you tomorrow for another Wild Rift video. Peace.